Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Lee Cara. Let me see. Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Lee Cara. This is Unleash Your Light. My name is Lee Cara. Welcome. I usually do Unleash Your Light in this little space here, but today we're going to do Making the Spiritual Connection. Y'all know I have brought some very interesting people here for you guys to meet, and today is no exception. Y'all know I'm always meeting interesting people, so let me just take a minute. I hope that you will share this out. I hope that you will share this with your friends. I've got the most fascinating person on here today, let me tell you. I'm going to be honest with you. I was recuperating. You know, when you go on a vacation, you always have to recuperate from the vacation. Isn't that right? You always have to recuperate from the vacation. So I went to visit my daughter last week. I am recuperating from that vacation. I think I'm almost recuperated. I think I'm almost recuperated. We'll have to see. We have got someone with such a wealth of knowledge here. Spirituality for badass babes. Are a spiritual badass babe if you are here watching me right now. So I am going to bring in our guest. I'm so excited. And I am going to let our guest tell us all about her. Here we go. Are you ready? There she is. Okay. Yay. Tell all of my friends who you are.
Works. Hello, everyone. So my name's Ania Halama, and I am also known as the Rebel Entrepreneur, also as Ania Travels, because that's what I do. I travel a lot. Speaking of vacations, my life is literally always a vacation. So I am an EU passport holder as well as an American passport holder. And one day I just decided to screw corporate America, as many people are saying nowadays, especially with COVID. And I went on a journey of self-discovery without even realizing that it was going to be a journey of self-discovery. And it taught me so many things. It brought me to so many beautiful places. I've traveled to almost 70 countries, almost all alone in most of them. I am a citizen of the world. And now I teach people how to not only connect with themselves, but connect with their businesses, how to add spirituality into their businesses, get past limiting beliefs. I am a spiritual business mentor, spiritual/intuitive. I like saying both of them sometimes because one is similar to the other. I don't just focus on the meditating, the tappings, and all of that. I also do a lot of intuitive work as well. I bring out the cards. I do Akashic records. So it's both spiritual and intuitive. And I am also an intuitive digital artist, which is very fun for me. Speaking of being in corporate America, that's what I did. I did graphic and web design for almost 15 years in corporate America. And I took a long break from being in the creative world. But that's something, beauty is my dharma. Bringing beauty to this world is really, really why I'm here. It is a big part of my dharma. So why not continue it? Now I work with conscious entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs, mostly with that as well. And I love doing it. It's similar, like I'll go into the Akashic records, I'll meditate, and what I'm seeing here, that's what I'll design. It's a little bit different nowadays than just picking and choosing what clients I want to work with. But life's been amazing. This journey's been amazing. And that's a little snippet of all that I do.
That was a good snippet. That was a good snippet. You know, Google now has that thing where they'll sum up your entire website in one sentence and snippet it right to the top. Like, that was such a good snippet you just did. That was Google worthy. Like, that was Google worthy for sure. Well, that is a lot of that. Now we're brand new friends, so I don't really know you like that. I did just go on your show, which was very lovely. But we're definitely very informal here. And so I know that you do a lot in the space of people who do this for a living, people who want to be practitioners of some way, shape, or form, even I would say what you do would even address to someone who is in the creative arts, someone who's an artist or a writer, or even like you were saying, doing the digital art or doing that sort of a thing, because you want to do it from a space of spiritual alignment. And yet money and the way that the world works seems like it doesn't work with that energy. So not to kind of yank you away from all the fun stuff, but into that. But I think if we start there and then drizzle into the fun stuff, that it'll give a nice little slide for us to go down.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that is a huge part of what I work on, money wounds, specifically money wounds, because so many people, especially in the spiritual niche, especially being yoga teachers, being creatives, being artists, even people think that they cannot be making money off of the things that they love, which is absolutely bonkers, absolutely crazy. I think every person should make money off of things that they love, their passions, their purposes, why they are really here. And you've heard this many, 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 many times. I'm going to say it again. Like, we need to fully enjoy what we're doing. If you love what you're doing, you'll never work another day in your life. It's true. And adding those passions behind what you're doing will start, you'll start being happy. You'll start enjoying what you're doing, and it'll be this beautiful flowing thing. So I was actually at a retreat last week. I was speaking at a Napoleon Hill event, and that was my main topic of what I was speaking about is money wounds. Actually reprogramming your brain, reprogramming what you've learned your entire life. Because how many times have you heard money doesn't grow on trees? You have to hustle to work hard. Rich people are bad. They never contribute to the economy. Like, there's these things that we've heard from generations. You and I were talking about this a few minutes ago, like on my show, like generational things that our parents told us over and over and over again, that we need healing, that we don't even realize that we have these limiting beliefs. So my entire topic for the retreat was rewriting your money story, actually taking a look at what your current relationship with money is. How are you treating money? If you get a bill, do you just crumple it up and throw it in your purse? Or do you nicely align all of your dollar bills in the same direction? Or are they like all scattered? What is your relationship with money? Are you the person that when you get a bill, you're like, oh, fudge, I got another bill to pay? Or are you actually grateful for having a roof over your head? How are you treating that money? What is your relationship like with that money? And then like looking through some of the limiting beliefs, looking through what your parents told you, what your ideas of money are, what your relationship with money is. If money was your child, if money was your best friend, how are you treating it? Are you treating it with disrespect? Are you not respecting your money? Your clients want to pay you? I was talking to someone at the retreat and I thought this was bonkers, absolutely crazy. He goes, oh yeah, my clients will send me invoice, or they'll ask for me to pay them, and because they need to close out their books. And I'm like, I'm like, what do you mean? You're like, that money is given to you. They want to pay you. And you're like, it's okay. That is a disrespect for money. That is a disrespect for yourself at that point as well. So taking a look at what your current money story is, and then rewriting that money story. Like, how can I be better towards money? How can I speak better towards money? How can I speak better about myself because I'm speaking better about this money? And I do several different practices, like getting into a breath work practice of where are these money wounds feeling in your stomach, in your body? Are they in your stomach? Is it in your heart? Is it in your throat? Like, what chakra is activating these feelings, and moving that energy in order to release it? Because like any limiting belief, it's just energy. It's stuck energy in your body. There's several different practices that you can do. Breathwork is one of them that I focus on a lot. Tapping, EFT tapping, moving energy, releasing energy, meridians. We all have these meridian points down our bodies, and we tap on them with our fingers. If you're not sure what EFT tapping is, tap similar to acupuncture. We tap on them in our bodies in order to move that energy. If we move it, we release it, and then we could add that light into it. We could reprogram our brains, reprogram our minds at that point in order to to allow these new energies and these new beliefs, these new thoughts into our body so they can sit there, so they can absorb us, so we can fully embody that person that we want to become with those new affirmations, with those new beliefs that we have. So that is a big part of what I work on, especially towards money wounds. And I do have a retreat coming up, which we will be going through, because again, a lot of the work that I work a lot with spiritual entrepreneurs, whether that's yoga teachers, healers, consultants, any kind of spiritual entrepreneurs, because again, a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, they don't believe that they can get paid for what it is that they're selling. So I do host a free 5-day retreat called Rebel Entrepreneur Retreat. You can go to rebelentrepreneurretreat.com, where we go into some of those money wounds. We embody the person that we want to become. We embrace the person. We get past those limiting beliefs. We align ourselves with our clients. We get confidence on camera, off camera, because a lot of people, again, if you're in the spiritual niche, you probably don't have that confidence on camera. You're like, no, how am I supposed to promote myself? And actually building out a blueprint, a step-by-step blueprint on how you can start making 10, 20, 30K months consistently. Because yeah, we can do it once, we can do it twice, but like we need to be doing this consistently. And once you hit that 10K, it just explodes from there. Everything becomes so much better. Life becomes better. You can start contributing more. You can start donating more. You can hire more people. Just life gets a lot easier and better at that point.
Yeah, that's all. I really, what you're saying about people thinking they don't deserve to be paid, I fall directly into that category. And I think it's something that anyone who gives a service that is more abstract, I think, struggles with this. Like we had discussed with artists, when you paint something, it literally just came from your brain and now it's on a sheet of paper or it's on a canvas. If you don't have the self-confidence to then sell it, to say this thing that I created is worth an energy exchange of dollars, then no one ever sees your work but you, pretty much, And so I can definitely relate to this. And I think a lot of people can, because interestingly enough, a lot of spiritual people are also in that artistry field, whether they're creating candles or jewelry or soap or paintings or whatever it is, designs, sculptures. It's not just practitioners that get affected by this money story that you're talking about. I think it's really super important for everyone to really pay attention to that. We were literally just talking about how the roots of things affect us today. And that is like a continuation of exactly what you're doing. It doesn't just affect us emotionally, it affects us financially as well. So when in your journey did you start to recognize your own money stories, or have you always had more of a more accepting space when it comes to the energy of money?
Goodness, not at all. Growing up, we didn't have any money at all. So I've heard them all. We can't afford this. You have to hustle hard. You have to go to college and become a doctor in order to be successful. You have to, money doesn't grow on trees. I've heard them all. I've heard every single one of them. So growing up, I had this different idea of money. I had this idea of also success. In order for me to succeed, I needed to succeed or my parents aren't going to love me. That was another belief. So I heard, I was an immigrant. I was born in Poland. We came over to the States when I was 3 years old, but my parents, they're full immigrants. My dad still doesn't speak any English, which I think is completely bonkers as well. We've been in America for 30 years. He still speaks no English, but that's a story in itself. So they immigrated to America thinking that they want a better life for me, which is completely understandable. I get that. They wanted a better life. So I had to succeed. I had to be better than them. I had to go to school. I had to get a first degree, a better degree or whatever. But all of these, this wasn't what I was passionate about. It was living their idea of what success is. At the age of 10, my dad got in a really bad work accident, and I had to take over a lot of the responsibilities at 10 years old. I was looking at what kind of a job can I get? How can I help them financially? Because again, we didn't have a lot of money. How can I help them financially? How can I help them? I was translating legal documents, things no 10-year-old should be doing at the age of 10, but it's how I grew up. So at the age of 16, I decided that I know what I want to do. I want to do graphic design. Like I was really into art. art. I loved art. Like I have tattoos. I drew all of them myself. I was always very artsy. So I knew this was a path of mine. And I got an internship fairly fast. I graduated college, university, my first degree at the age of 19. And I started working in corporate America as 17, 18 years old. So I'm still very young. I said I was in corporate America for over 10 years, which I really was, but I had a really young start.
Gotcha.
That point, I was making almost six figures at 21 years old. So my wealth came, but I didn't understand of what it meant to keep that wealth. What kind of wealth, what does wealth mean to me at that point? Yes, I was making a lot of money, but I was also spending a lot of money on stupid stuff, as a 21-year-old should be spending money on stupid stuff. And it wasn't until at 25, 26, I decided that I'm going to quit corporate America and I need to work for myself. This isn't what I want to keep doing anymore. But when I left, like, what am I going to do? Who am I going to be? What kind of job am I going to have? Because that was the first time where I didn't have security. I didn't have that paycheck to rely on. What was I going to do with my life? So I took a step back. I started living my life. I was abroad at this point. For 6 months, I didn't work at all, and all of my savings depleted at that point. And I was like, crap, what am I really going to do? Yeah. Learning about wealth. Like, what does wealth mean to me? What does money mean to me? That's when I started learning about spirituality, and my spiritual journey started growing as well. Started learning about the law of attraction. Like, I can attract money. Money's just an energy. We were saying this. I can attract the money. I can attract my ideal clients. I can call in all of these things that I want, but it took me a long time to realize that. Once I started realizing it, I got so deep into it, I realized that I was chasing the wrong idea of wealth. For a long time, I was chasing the wrong idea of wealth. Like, I needed to get this next paycheck. I needed to get the next client. Like, that goes into scarcity at that point. I need. The universe isn't going to serve you if you're needy. The universe serves you when you're open, when you're receptive, when you're allowing all these beautiful things to come in for you, versus when I need to make this client, I need to get this money because I have a paycheck to pay. I need to keep a roof over my head. I need to pay for water. at the end of the day, we all have milk to pay for, obviously. And this is why, like, businesses can be your passion. At the end of the day, we all have milk to pay for. We all have a job to pay for and a job to continue to living. But are you living to work, or are you working to live? That's what you need to ask yourself. Like, which one of those are you? So for me, I started asking myself, like, what does wealth mean to me? What does having this limited abundance mean to me? Because for a long time, I realized that I was chasing scarcity, which is, I don't know where this is going to come from, the wrong idea of wealth, versus abundance, versus wealth. Abundance is everywhere. And when I took a step back, and it's kind of what we were saying earlier today, like, when I took a step back and realized that what wealth means to me is unconditional love. That's what wealth means to me. Abundance, wealth. Like, I use those two terms unconditionally, like simultaneously, because that's what wealth is. Wealth to me is me being able to do whatever I want, freedom, being with my family when I want to be with my family, not spending time with my family when I don't want to spend time with my family, going on vacations, when being able to drop $1,000 because I found a pretty dress if I really wanted to, just having that freedom, and that freedom for myself, that unconditional love for myself and the people around me. That's what wealth is. But it really took me that time to realize, to take that step back and ask, what does wealth mean to me? What does abundance mean to me? What does success mean to me? Defining those terms for yourself versus what someone else's idea and those projections of what someone else is telling you, this is what it should be. What does it really mean to you?
Yeah. I think in this, what you were just talking about, the big takeaway for me, and the shift, I'm literally going to use this. Okay. When you said wealth is unconditional love, like, we in our lives, like you had said, we villainize people with money. We villainize those who don't have. We will get mad at ourselves and blame ourselves because we don't have the money we want, or because we're not able to make it happen. And just like our bodies, just like losing weight. We need to be in a partnership with the energy. We need to be in a partnership with our physical form. We also need to have a partnership with the energy of wealth, is what I'm hearing from you. And that literally shifting our perspective on what the energy actually is. If I literally make the term unconditional love interchangeable with wealth, money, abundance, et cetera, which I already do in the emotional side, but which I have not been able to shift on the physical side. Literally making that one change in the word, I think, is going to make a huge change in how I operate within that word. So that's a really, y'all, if I had a little, like, I do have a little thing, but it'll take me too long to type it, y'all. But I would type it right here at the bottom that you can use those words interchangeably. And I think that makes a huge shift. And literally when I went on your show, that was the first thing you asked me. And my thing was, what makes me a badass is shifting that perspective. So like a moment just like this, recognizing, holy crap, I've been doing it X way, and let me try doing it Y way instead. So that's such a huge shift. I appreciate that. Everybody out there, I hope y'all are taking notes, because that was just, if I was Oprah, I'd say that's a tweetable moment, y'all. So you making that shift in your own life, you now accepting that you were already traveling, you were already in that space. Give me a little, like a little glow up, glow up, like description, a little summary of once that shift happened in you, how things started to kind of take off in your life.
Yeah, definitely. With not only that shift, so going back to manifestation, I teach a lot about manifestation. There's two types of manifestors. Someone who's a specific manifestor, they could get down to the penny amount of what they want, like, and it'll come to them. And a non-specific manifestor. I'm a non-specific manifestor, and I talk about this often. Ever since I was little, I was unconsciously manifesting things. Things just started coming into my life, and I didn't even know it because my vibration was high. I was happy, like all the right things that they teach you about manifestation. I trusted, I let go, I released, I was having fun, I was enjoying, I was playing. But once I started learning about the law of attraction, like that infinite is available, but still remembering that I'm a non-specific manifestor. Yes, I have an idea of how things are going to come to me and what is going to happen to me. So not only did it take me that shift in my verbiage, how I speak to myself, how I speak about the things that I want to attract, but also remembering I'm a non-specific manifestor, releasing, completely detaching of the idea of this needs to happen, this is when it needs to happen by, and surrendering to the universe, God, whatever, whoever you want to call it, love. At the end of the day, it's all love. So releasing and surrendering that this is going to happen for you. Like, I know that I'm going to be a famous person. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen. And just allowing that to formulate with the verbiage that you're saying will open up so many opportunities, will open up so many doors for you. Once I completely released and I allowed these things to come into my life, the opportunities that have been coming, like, I just spoke at a Napoleon Hill event last week. I'm going to be in Forbes soon. I'm speaking at a Women Gone Wild conference in a week and a half, which is like a Barbara Cochran from the Shark Tank is going to be on there. Like, all these beautiful opportunities are just coming into my life because I have that trust, I have that knowing, and I have an end picture of this is what I want my life to be like. At the end of the day, all I want out of life is just to live a happy, beautiful life. That's what everyone should want as well. It was funny. I was actually talking to someone about this recently. Like, ever since I was 5 years old, I remember like wishing upon my birthday cake, I just want to be happy. Like, that's all I want out of life. And if we can add that happiness, add that joy, add those vibrations and those frequencies, then life will start manifesting all these beautiful things into you. But you have to be open to it as well, because the universe keeps throwing you things all the time. How many times have you thought of a beautiful idea and you're like, oh, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and then you sat on it, you didn't do it, and then 2 months later someone else stole that idea from you? The universe sends us all these ideas many, many times, but it's up to us to act. It's up to us to take those opportunities and actually flourish them, open up those doors, and completely make that into that reality of what it is for us.
I love that. And it's literally action. It is making a choice. It is making a choice to follow through.
Action.
Yes.
Action. Action. You need to
Action.
take action.
It really is. And we were literally just saying this before. Like, one of the things I've been saying a lot is that if you want your life to change your life. Like, literally, you know what it looks like now, and you know what you want it to look like. You can't keep doing what you're doing now and expecting to look like that. There are things that have to change about yourself, about others, about your surroundings. But one of the things that I really want to focus in on a little bit is, and I know it's really important for law of attraction. I'm not a law of attraction person per se, although it's, woven into all spirituality. That even if you are not at a space where you are making a living, doing your thing as an artist and Reiki person, like Brittany says, I know that Ashley does a little bit of, like little spell making, little candles, little, whatever it is that we're doing. Even if you aren't doing that, you have to exist as if you are still working on your purpose and your spirit, and knowing that exactly what is supposed to happen will happen. Detaching from the outcome while still maintaining faith and staying on the path is probably one of the most difficult things to do. So if you could just give a little bit of what we can do, because sometimes, man, it is very difficult to keep faith in the bigger vision that you have without being so fixated on the vision that you lose the now.
Yeah, definitely. So something for me that often comes by, I teach surrender and receiving a lot, allowing the flow to receive, allowing to be in that vibration of receiving, because yes, we can detach, but if we're not fully able to receive, then you're not going to receive anything. Similar as what I was saying earlier with those opportunities, like being in that receiving mode. So when you pick up a glass of water and you're drinking your water, do you mindlessly drink the water, or are you receiving the water? It's nurturing your body. Your body's being nurtured from the water that you're consuming. So receiving that, receiving the food, being grateful for every single thing as well. And when it comes to releasing, so whenever I do any kind of practice, I always like throw my hands up in the air and say, make it so I detach with faith. Putting an intention behind what you are doing, whether that's a manifestation, a meditation, any tappings, any breath work, whatever, make it so I detach with faith, similar to, and so it is. That putting the intention behind those words and that action behind those words will give you a little bit of a reminder. You were saying the other day, I like how the people do the rubber band in order to have an action with what they're wanting, have an action with what they're manifesting, or an action with what they're trying to release. So this does the same exact thing. Put your hands up in the air and say, make it so I detach with faith. You're detaching with faith. It's going to happen. I trust that it's going to happen. This verbiage is so powerful. I give my trust, my full surrender to the universe, God, or whoever, whatever, and I detach. I release it. It is surrendered now. Sometimes I also, whenever I do any kind of practices, like maybe some scripting or some manifesting on a paper, you can take that piece of paper, go outside and bury it. That is also another way of how you can surrender. You wrote your manifestations down. You've done your manifestation exercise. Surrender it. It is in the earth now. The earth, the universe is going to take over that. It is not up to you at that point anymore. You're releasing. You're completely detaching from it, surrendering from it. Those are just two of some of my practices that I really love doing. There's many, many, many other ones as well, but those are just two quick ones that you can release and detach that surrendering as well.
Yeah, I love that. The burying it in the art is a really interesting thing. I know some people will also use crystals in that practice and that sort of thing, some herbs, and it's almost like casting a spell of sorts, where you're saying, so mote it be. This is what I want to happen, but whatever happens, happens, but this is what I want to happen. And staying in that space of having faith in that, detaching from the outcome, it's that observation that we were talking. It's really that space of belief and believing in self and loving self and all those things that are so important. It's interesting how everything weaves together, all the different pieces and parts that we need. And it's balance. It's two pentacles balance, where you're literally like, this is where we're at, this is where we're at. I'm balancing the human and the divine. I'm balancing, everything and nothing. I am everything. I am nothing. I am everyone. I am nobody. Right. And so this space of balance is always the mission, and yet the mission is also joy. So finding balance and joy and love for all things, for everything you're doing, treating this mission not as if it's a, I have to do this or my world is over. I have to be this thing, or I just can't exist, or I'm worth nothing. I should be this, I should be that. Being able to just be without all the shoulds, and let all the shoulds be the fun stuff. Let all the shoulds be all the things you want, all the things, but none of them are necessary. But what you want to be, how you want things to flow, right? It's a balance. It's 100% a balance. I'm in it right now. I'm literally, y'all, I'm in it right now. So I want you, Ania, to tell everyone how they can reach out to you, what you have coming up. I have in the description the link that has your name, but any other links that you want to put in here, please let me know. And while you're saying them, I will type them into the comments below, so anyone that jumps in can get the right information. Shoot,
Yeah,
girl, shoot.
definitely. So the retreat that I was speaking about earlier, it is a 5-day retreat. The next one is October 8th. We host them every other month. They are live, they are fun, they are interactive. We go through limiting beliefs. So we align you with the right clients. We set up a program for you. Also good. It's rebelentrepreneurretreat.com. We go through the Rebel Method. It is going to be fantastic. You can get my book, Spirituality for Badass Babes, or Rebel's Guide to Spirituality. Actually, sorry, Rebel's Guide to Spirituality. My book, you can get that at rebelsguidetospirituality.com. My Facebook group, Spirituality for Badass Babes, you can put the link in that. It's just Spirituality for Badass Babes. And then my regular website's just aniahalama.com. On Instagram, I'm at Ania Travels.
All right. I'm trying to type it all in. Okay. Okay, and the group is here on Facebook, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, perfect. Facebook group. All right. All right, I think I've got it all in there. Y'all, I'm so grateful. I have taken up way too much time from Ania, but I'm so grateful for her coming on. Come back anytime you want. Come over and chat with my peeps anytime you want to. I know you are a busy person, but reach out anytime. This was fascinating. It's an aspect of spirituality that I don't address because I personally struggle with it. So having people on like yourself, who that may not be where your process is happening right now, because that has already happened for you. This is why so many of us can lean on each other, can learn from each other, can have an open mind and recognize that we're all on the same path, the same journey. And if somebody has one sentence that helps you, then you were meant to run into them. You were meant to hear that happen. And man, that's the way life is. And that's the way this has been. This has been fabulous, Ania. Thank you so very much. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And I'm going to say what I say at the end of every one of these shows. You are beloved, you matter, and you are so very loved.
Thank you.